What's up, guys? This is the Board Game Roamer, and I'm back with Wanderer Cult of Barnacle Bay. So, I have actually done well this time around. I edited the previous video, first video. Have not posted it yet, but I did edit it and have it done. So I'm now able to move on to record this next one. So I did get a couple of clarifications online about some things I was confused on, which I'm super thankful for, and it actually makes this a bit easier to understand and a lot less complicated than I was making it. So if you're not part of the Facebook page for the Wanderers Guild, Cult of Barnacle Bay, then you definitely need to check it out. They're super helpful. The designers and creators are on there all the time answering questions. So definitely check that out. So a couple things that I have realized. Number one, when we talk about engaging, that was confusing to me because in my mind, engage meant that these enemies were going to engage with a specific hero. And that's simply not the case. When they are engaged, what that means is they just essentially become active. Maybe that would actually have been a better word in my opinion, but they become active. So engaged means when it's their turn, they will move and attack. So for example, if everybody was sitting here and this was flipped back over, nobody's engaged. As soon as somebody moves here, then these guys become engaged, which simply means that they will be actively moving towards the heroes. And it doesn't matter after that point whether they can or cannot see the heroes. They're going to continue to pursue the heroes until they kill the heroes or the heroes kill them. The other thing that I learned was, what was the other thing? Engagement and dodging. So the rulebook talks about dodge, where basically when a hero passes in line of sight of an enemy, if they are in range, whether they're ranged or they're close combat, they have to do a dodge roll. It's essentially a free attack. So I was thinking that it was a dodge roll maybe per enemy, and if they ever passed during their movement within line of sight, they got another one. That's not the case. So what happens is that attack only happens once when they start that movement action. Now, it could happen twice on their turn if they moved twice and were in line of sight or became in line of sight to something during both of those moves. But regardless of the number of units and where they're positioned and how many different types there are, it's just one roll. So a number of things to think about, and fortunately I got that clarified, so we're good to go there. So what we're going to do is we're just going to continue on our way and see if we can take these guys out. So I'm thinking, ultimately, remember, we're trying to get up here to this corner to go down the ladder. And that means that we're going to have to get rid of all these enemies. And remember, tier spawns happen when somebody gets enough XP to tier spawn. So we're going to have to be careful because Bebo's pulling ahead and these guys are not. So we really want, if she kills these two, that's fine. That'll put her at 6, which is still 2 away from another tier spawn. We're going to have to let these guys kill these here, because otherwise what's going to happen is we're going to get a lot more units on the board. And depending on where everybody's at, they're going to spawn potentially pretty close. So we're going to have to be very careful of that. So having said all of that, excuse me, let's start with Eileen. Okay, so I think with Eileen, I think we're going to need to give Bebo a little bit of help, just to be honest with you. So I think I'm going to actually move Eileen back to here and let her attack one of these two guys. I do know, obviously she has with a backcaster, she's going to have -1 attack, but she has a 4 dice attack with her weapon, her rippers, so I think it will be worth it. Now, having said that, when she moves, as I understand it, a dodge attack roll will have to be made because of this caster here, as the caster can see her, I believe. So, first action is going to be to move here. Let's just go ahead and roll that dodge attack. She has 2 defense. So let's see what happens. Nailed it, Ace, can't be stopped. There's at least 2, potentially more. We're good to go. So then she'll make an attack against one of these backcasters, neither of which have been hit. Normally, it would be 4 dice. Miasma from the backcasters makes it 1 dice. So that's a total of 3 dice. And what do we got? Okay. So there's 2 hits and a crit. So we're going to roll 1 more for the crit. There's another hit. Cool. So she doesn't have anything special. So she's got 3 hits. The backcasters have 1 defense. So one of the casters, we'll just pick one, takes 2 hits. Actually, I think we can probably just do it like that. Cool. That's her turn. Next goes Bebo. Now, like I said, Bebo can actually get some more XP. But, I mean, we still want Eileen and the other ones to get XP to be able to level up and get additional actions, right? Plus, Bebo does have an extra action to move if she can manage to kill these. So, I actually think what we're going to do... yeah, she's just going to... Bebo's just going to attack. This is what she's going to do with her 3 dice. Ranged attack, the... So she's got 3 actions versus this one other caster that has not been hit. First attack, wow, that was horrible. Second attack, I was hoping for a hit and a crit. Alright, so that's 2 hits with a second attack, or second action. So that backcaster takes 1 damage, because remember, again, you have 1 defense. And the third attack, we'll do the same backcaster. Okay, there we go. There's 3. Wow. Plus 1 more for the crit. 4. Okay, well, that definitely kills the backcaster with 3. I actually just needed, that's 4 total. Backcaster has 1, that's 3 damage. That's as much health as I have to begin with, so it definitely kills him. But more importantly, her explosive skill procs. So that's crit on spell attack, causes 108 wound. So that means this backcaster also receives a wound. Not an attack, doesn't get to defend it, it's just a wound. So actually both of these casters go bye-bye. Awesome. Now, having said that, that means now we really, really, really have to watch Bebo's Bebo, because now she goes from 4 to 6. Oops, to 6. So, like I said, she's very close to doing a spawn tier when she goes from 8 to 9. So, probably don't need to let her kill anything else. I was hoping to get Eileen maybe a point there. Didn't work out. That's okay. Most importantly, we got them off of the board. So, cool. And we can just go ahead and do it now. That's going to remove these casters from the initiative track, because we're not having to spawn anything else. Boom. Put them over here to the side, and everybody moves up. Right? Oh, wait, what am I doing? I'm sorry. I don't know why I did that. They don't move, because there's several other casters. If only. Alright, so that was Bebo. That was all 3 of her actions. I was hoping maybe 1 action I'd be able to move, but I guess not. So it's all 3 actions. And yeah, so let's go to Bjorn. who has no XP. Wow. All right. So he's definitely going to attack over here. He's going to attack the bat caster with his 4 dice. But remember, the miasma means he gets 3. So here's his attack, looking for hammers and crits. All right, 3 hammers. Sweet. The Batcaster has 1 defense, so that means the Batcaster on his first action takes 2 damage. And he does have 2 actions still, so we're going to do that again. Again, it would be 4 dice, 3 because of the miasma. So there's 1 crit, just 1 additional roll. That's all right. So that's 2 hits. And one of those is blocked by the defense. The other one goes through, but that does make 3 total for this Batcaster. So, boom, he gets an XP. He's finally on the board. Good job, Bjorn. So, we'll move his. I know that's hard to see with the glare. Unfortunately, can't figure out a way to get rid of that. So, he's updated. And let's clear these out. Good deal. So now the casters go. The caster does have line of sight. It does not. It can't attack the heroes because it can only attack right in straight lines, but it can see them for purposes of line of sight to be engaged. So it's going to move here. And that's all it can do. All right, and just that quick, that is the caster's turn. So we'll go back to the top of the order. We have Eileen. Eileen is going to get 2 actions. So action 1 is going to be going to move 1, 2. Action 2 is going to be moving 1, 2. Now this is an example of, because where she started in both of those movement actions, there was no line of sight of an enemy. She was not taking a dodge attack. All right, so that's how that works. So now we got Bebo. Bebo's basically just going to be catching, playing catch up. So 1, 2, 1 action, 1, 2. 2 actions. Remember, she has 3 because she's leveled up. 1, 2, 3 actions. Then we have Bjorn. He's going to move up, and he's going to attack again with 3 dice because of the miasma. Oh, wow! So that's 2 crits. So that means we get 2 more dice. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, cool. So that's actually 5 hits. The caster has 1 defense. That's 4. It has 3 health. Actually, it has 2 defense. So even with 2 defense, because of its position on the track over here, that still takes 2 of those away. That's still 3 damage. That's enough to kill it. Awesome. Good job, Bjorn. So let's update his stats again. So now he has 2 XP. All right. So he's updated. And that actually takes the casters off the map. These guys move up. Now from this point, it's kind of purely academic because we have cleared the board. Right, so now it's just basically us moving. The question is, who do we want to get? Who do we want to get this treasure? I think I fancy the warlock. So we'll do this. I'll play it out with the actions, but at this point it does not matter because there's no enemies on the board, and we're not going to spawn any. We need. Oh well, that's a good question. That's a good point. Let's check these things out because We may have events that may give us something, or, I mean, it could potentially spawn more enemies, but that's okay. So tank's going to go 1, 2. That's his one action. And the second action is going to be to move here onto this space. And this space is another event. Okay. So the event's going to be something's fishy. Find a room full of smelly fish guts. Wow. You take a deep breath and the stench knocks. Oh, check knowledge. So, if you watched the playthrough video from Barnacle, tank failed turtle college pretty bad with 2 knowledge. So let's see if he remembers anything from his time there. Hey, he had 2 successes. That's awesome. That's still not enough, even with 2 successes. Suffer knockdown. It says you take a deep breath and the stench knocks you off your feet. Suffer knockdown. So he's knocked down. That was his 2 actions. Then we go back to Eileen, who's right here. Whoops. We're just gonna have her move one action, 1, 2, and then the second action to here. I want Gunborn to pick this up in case there's something. Although his his check is even worse. Actually, yeah. Let's move him into here with 1 action, and that is another event. So his event is shiny. You see a shiny item at the end of the room. Check knowledge. Oh, wow. We want a success here. I'll just roll it on the board. Yes. Success. You notice and disable 1+. You notice and disable the tripwires. Draw 1 treasure card. Cool. So we're going to get to draw another treasure card. That's awesome. I'm glad I did that. So give it a quick shuffle again, just so we know that this is legitimate. Alright, cool. And we'll give it a cut. Just with that cut. So he's going to draw a treasure card, so he's going to take this card. And he gets a lucky gem. +1 reroll on all attack, defense, and knowledge checks. Ooh, that's really nice. So let's put that on his board. So that's going to go in here in his items. Wow. So he gets a reroll on basically, on just about everything. That's awesome. That's awesome. I like that. Alright. They ended his move and you immediately do that, but that was his first action. So his second action, he's going to go on over there. Then Bebo, sorry. Did I do them out of order? I did them out of order. My apologies. 1, 2, 1 action, right? And the second action is going to be moving here, and her third action would be to pick this up. I did those out of order, so I apologize. She is also going to get, and I'll do another shuffle. Another shuffle. And then give it a good, about halfway cut. Not look halfway. She gets this card. All right. She gets throwing axes. That is a ranged weapon. And one-handed 3 attack. Crit causes cleave per crit. Interesting. So we're going to put that in her inventory. Boom. Noted ace that can't be stopped. Now we should consider maybe trading that off to Bjorn at some point, just because he can ready. Let's look at his. Oops, let's look at his sheet right quick. He can ready this actually as one-handed weapon, so he could actually hold this and those that ranged weapon. So we may opt to do that at some point. I think we're okay with our setup now, but just something to think about in the future. All right, so that takes care of the first three. Then we go to Tank, who's going to spend one action to stand up and then move over here. And then it goes back to Eileen, who's going to stay there. Bebo, who's going to use one action to move there, another action to move here. And then Bjorn, who, since all enemies are cleared from the board, everybody's on the same square with a ladder, is going to use the interact action to flip this board over and get set up for the next B part of the scenario. So that's where we're going to stop it, and in the next video we'll show that. I know that was a kind of a short video, but I wanted you to see it, so that's cool. So yeah, that's where we're at. Some lucky rolls, a couple of good pieces of loot. We always like loot. And yeah, so in the next video we'll have this flipped over. We'll set up for the second scenario in the campaign and see what happens from that point on. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Hopefully this was better rules-wise playthrough, and I was able to explain those things that I had messed up so that you don't have to. And if you're playing, gets people involved in the hobby. Hopefully you're enjoying this. But yeah, this game is awesome. I'm loving it. Yeah, we'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye-bye.